Hey, what's up guys? Everything Apple Pro here. Today, the iPhone 12 mini, 12, 12 Pro, and 12 Pro Max have been announced. And of course, the HomePod Mini, an amazing event and actually one where we knew more than ever before from the leaks. Anyways, let's get into it. Super exciting day, and despite knowing everything, it's still an amazing presentation. So Apple opened releasing the HomePod Mini. This is not a replacement to the current HomePod, but in addition to the line, it's got a very fun, rounded design, almost like a very large golf ball. And Apple's actually very proud of the many innovations that have gone on inside. And the internals are much different than the standard HomePod. You have one major driver, two smaller speakers on the side. Apple wants more of a booming sound from this smaller HomePod, whereas the larger HomePod has many more tweeters for high fidelity audio. Anyways, Apple's quite proud of the sounds, and paired with the new S5 chip, they've introduced a new feature called computational audio, where all the audio before it's sent out analyzed, and depending on your room, it's processed in a way to deliver the most booming sound possible out of a speaker this small. Of course, there are some new software innovations as well. Siri has been upgraded, and there's a new intercom feature where you can beam out audio to all HomePods or pretty much any device shared in a household. And using the new U1 chip built in, it pairs with your iPhone for precise ultra-wideband location within your house. Now, moving on to the stars of the show, the 5G iPhones. Now, the iPhone portion was opened up speaking about 5G. In its current state, still a bit underdeveloped across America. Millimeter wave will only be happening in certain cities, but everywhere else, 5G rollout should be pretty smooth. Verizon says it's their biggest and best rollout yet, so we'll see. Now, the new iPhone 12s, by the way, all iPhones will get millimeter wave standard in America only. Now, the new iPhone design's just gorgeous, actually very reminiscent of the iPad Pros, the way that the sides taper off onto the front. Otherwise, Apple referred to it as a flat slab of glass front and back, and I definitely like how sleek it looks. Now, the iPhone 12 gets 5 colors: white, red, black. They've got this very mild green and a almost navy blue color, which we were supposed to get on the 12 Pro Max. That one is definitely very different, but I love the color choices here. Delicious looking. And Apple was very proud of the design. Due to the squared edges, they were able to cram in more into a thinner frame. So it's 11% thinner, 15% smaller overall versus the iPhone 11, and 16% lighter. That's, I think, a really awesome combination there. So a very sleek form factor. On the front, you can see that the bezels have been slightly reduced, but the notch does remain. Now, all iPhone 12 models will get the organic LED displays standard. So across the line, organic LED. That's a very nice upgrade, especially for the same price point as the iPhone 11. Double the resolution, so a much sharper image here, and HDR display. All around, huge upgrades. Now, durability has been upgraded as well. There's a new display material type called ceramic shield. So Apple grew these ceramic crystals on top, and Apple is saying this is tougher than any smartphone glass. They actually made it in collaboration with Corning, so likely using some form of Victus technology here. And they're saying it's 4 times more durable in drop performance. So your iPhone is 4 times more likely to survive drops. Now, moving on, in order to make 5G happen on this new slate design, Apple had to completely rework the antennas. They're very proud of this. A lot of R&D went into it. And with 5G, Apple did add a couple new features, one being smart data mode, so automatic switching between LTE and 5G in order to preserve battery life. Of course, the A14, which was first previewed with the iPad Air, 11.8 billion transistors will be available in this iPhone. So it's 50% faster than any other smartphone out there on any other chip, as well as a 50% faster GPU. First time ever a quad-core GPU on an iPhone. So huge upgrades there in the processor world, which will of course help with battery life as well. And the Apple A14 plays an integral role of the new quality in the camera system. So you have an ultra wide and new sensors on both, a 1.6 aperture wide lens with a new 7-piece plastic element lens. This means you get better low light performance, so new night modes. By the way, night mode now comes on all camera lenses, including the front-facing camera. Apple's very proud of this, and you're able to get more colors inked out of low light situations, less noise, Always welcome to see upgrades to any camera capabilities here, especially in low light. Apple's also relying heavily on upgraded computational learning algorithms. So every time you take a photo, Deep Fusion will be working overtime with more analyzation and more fixing instantly of photos and videos. So now you get a new feature, night mode time lapse, and of course, improved low light on all camera modes. Now, Apple did introduce a new feature called MagSafe. So predictably, it's a new magnet orientation coil built into your iPhone, as well as any official Apple case, which you may use, compatible with their new MagSafe chargers, as well as a host of accessories, including these wallets. Now, unclear if Apple will be creating more things for it. Presumably so. I think that'd be a very interesting system here. It's quite complex. So Apple's put a lot of work into this, and as we saw in the leaked coil images, it does look very intricate. They do have a clear version as well with this plate system. I think it's definitely one of the cooler upgrades to the iPhone 12 lineup. They do also have this folio cover with a cutout for the time, one which would have been really cool with an always-on display. Apple also released a couple new chargers, so the standard MagSafe and MagSafe Duo, which also charges your Apple Watch and can be folded for traveling. Now, third-party companies such as Belkin have made a wireless charger for your car, and we'll see what else comes out. As predicted, smaller packaging, more environmentally friendly, no power block inside, no ear pods, and first time ever, a USB-C to Lightning adapter. So all around great upgrades, great value for the money. And of course, Apple did introduce the new iPhone 12 mini. So this one includes all the changes to the iPhone 12, but in a smaller form factor. Apple's calling it the smallest 5G phone ever. It truly is very tiny, smaller than the current iPhone SE. Well, smallest, thinnest, and lightest 5G smartphone. So all around great upgrades here, 5.4 and 6.1 inch displays from $699 to $799 for the 6.1 inch. And moving on to the star of the show, the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max in new 6.1 and 6.7 inch sizes. Now, renders and leaks could not do this justice. The bands, highly polished, surgical grade stainless steel. I think it looks amazing with that flat edge and much bigger camera modules, especially on the Halo model 6.7 inch. Truly is a Halo model. There are more differences than ever between the largest iPhone and the smaller version of the same variant. So the 12 Pro, huge upgrade over the 11 Pro, I'd say bigger than between the XS Max and 11 Pro Max. Now you have, of course, 5G capability baked in, new colors, Pacific Blue, Gold. Apple's actually very proud of the gold color. They put extra effort into it. And there's a new graphite color replacing space gray. Of course, you get ceramic shield, a new glass technology, and new ingress protection. So IP68 at 6 meters, which is 18 feet of depth on the 12 Pro series. That's crazy. New screen sizes, of course, 6.1, 6.7, and of course the same baked-in MagSafe technology as the iPhone 12 series. New display, Super Retina XDR with peak brightness up to 1200 nits on certain HDR content. And this is a 10-bit display for the first time ever on an iPhone. Now, camera technology on the 12 Pro, definitely an upgrade. Bigger sensors over the 11 Pro series, as well as night mode on the ultra-wide lens and optical image stabilization. Night mode on all the lenses, actually. Now, because Apple had even more room on the 12 Pro Max, they made the sensors even bigger, particularly on the ultra-wide sensor, a 47% larger sensor with larger 1.7 micrometer pixels, optical image stabilization on the ultra-wide lens using sensor shift stabilization. So it's not the lens itself that's stabilized, it's the sensor. Very cool. There's a new format, Apple Pro RAW, for raw video and photo editing. You can do that directly on the iPhone. Night mode is a huge focus of these iPhones. So in photos and videos, you get even better photos in all light conditions, better contrast ratio, dynamic range, truly incredible. And Apple's also very proud of the fact that these are the first iPhones ever to be able to record in HDR Dolby Atmos Vision codec. First time ever. This is a 10-bit codec that you can then edit on the iPhone directly from within the Photos app in resolutions up to 4K 60 frames per second. And this is all happening in real time. Now, of course, we cannot forget about the star of the show on the back, the LiDAR sensor. By the way, placement exactly as we predicted, much smaller mic there to the right of it. This is a 3D depth sensor, which will enable 6 times faster autofocus in the dark on the 12 Pro series. Now this will enable a whole suite of applications, modeling, scanning apps. I'm very excited to try this out as someone that is into 3D modeling. And that's pretty much the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max series. Now I'll be posting a video later on discerning the differences between these, but it seems like it's a huge upgrade over last year's iPhones. You get the new Apple A14, first 5nm processor in a smartphone, huge camera upgrades over the 11 Pro series, the new LiDAR scanner, better displays, and of course the new form factor with 5G. Anyone saying that this is not that big of an upgrade, you'd be wrong. Oh, and of course MagSafe and the whole compatibility thing. I think this is one of the biggest and best upgrades to the iPhone ever, and retaining the same price tag as the 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max at $1,000 and $1,099. Now, the 6.1-inch models are available on October 16th to pre-order, 23rd to get, and the 12 Pro Max and 12 Mini available to pre-order on November 6th with a 13th availability. There's the entire lineup. SE, 10R, and 11 are sticking around. And yeah, there it is. Let me know what you guys think down below. An amazing release. Peace.